Mumbai, after which she went ahead and headed the physiotherapy department at JJ Hospital, Mumbai for almost 17 years. She then went on to be the assistant chief at the department of HN Hospital in Mumbai, which is now called as Reliance Foundation. She has held various prestigious positions. She has been the president of Indian Association of Physiotherapy, Private Practitioners Group in Mumbai, and also the Indian Association of Study of Pain, which is of the Maharashtra branch. She was the only Indian member to be at the ad hoc committee of International Association of Study of Pain, USA. She has been a recipient of several awards like the IAP Hitra Oration Award, Gujarat Physiotherapy Ratna Vibhushan at Surat, and also the Medscape India Award for her excellence in physiotherapy. She has been an active member of Lions International and many other social organizations, always trying to promote physiotherapy at all possible forms at the community level. She was the first Indian physiotherapist to introduce laser and TENS for therapeutic pain relief, and also introduce the multidisciplinary pain clinic in India in 1985 and the headache clinic in 2000. We welcome you, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Veena. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay.
Ma'am, how is the cyclone situations in Mumbai? They're okay.
Now is well settled. Nothing is there. Everything is okay.
No problem.
Life is normal over here.
Nice to know that. Welcome to this SIP platform, ma'am. It gives me immense pleasure to have got the opportunity to have a sit chat with you on this platform. You have been a role model actually for many physiotherapists, and also you have molded a number of young physiotherapists. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, at the offset, tell us something little about yourself, your early days, where you went to school, your college in Mumbai, and how did you take up physiotherapy as a profession?
Well, during my childhood, I was in Rajkot, that is in Gujarat. At that time, my father was collector and he was very honest and well respected by British Raj in those days. But unfortunately, he died at very young age when I was just 11 years old. And at that time, my eldest brother was in final MBBS in Mumbai. So soon after that, we all shifted to Bombay. I did my schooling in Andheri and college also in Andheri, Bhavans College, Andheri.
Yeah.
And after my college hours, I used to work as a librarian to help my family financially.
That is very good, ma'am.
Yeah. And when I was in inter-science at that time, which now we call it 12th standard, so at that time with my family, we were discussing which line I should go. And very point blank, I told them, I don't want to do MBBS because my brothers, sisters, cousins, many people were in MBBS, said they had passed MBBS by that time. So I thought, if I pass MBBS, I won't have any value in my house. And then at that time, my brother-in-law was RMO in KM Hospital. And he just told me some new course is there. Would you like to join? Known as physiotherapy. Neither he knew what is physiotherapy, nor I knew what is physiotherapy. So, but he knew, and he told me, as a physiotherapist, you should be strong and look tall. So when I went for the interview, first time I wore sari on that day, and I purchased high heel chappals particularly for that interview, and that is how I joined physiotherapy at KM Hospital during that time.
Ma'am, you have a picture of that time when you went for the interview first time, you wore a sari and high heels that time? You have a picture?
Yeah, it is there, but I will have to search from the old albums probably.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, you qualified way back in 1957, and I think in KEM, physiotherapy came somewhere around 54 or 55. So tell us something about the history, how physiotherapy started in India.
Oh, you know, I think way back maybe in 1947-48, there was one philanthropist lady known as Fatima Ismail. Her daughter was affected with poliomyelitis, and at that time no treatment was available in India. So she took her child abroad. She was treated there, but she was such a dedicated mother, I would say, that she learned herself muscles name. In other words, we can say she learned anatomy and physiology. Not only that, she taught her daughter also. And once when her daughter was climbing the tree, she shouted, "Mama, look, my rhomboids are working." That shows how dedication was there for the health. And after that, when she came back to Bombay, she thought, like my daughter, there will be so many other children suffering from polio because epidemic was going on at that time. And she had a good vision, and she set up a children's orthopedic hospital, which is still there nowadays also.
Yeah.
And mainly for it was polio patients at that time. And the first lady orthopedic surgeon was Dr. Mullah Firoz.
It's very rare to find orthopedic surgeons who are ladies.
Very rare. I don't know still today we have any other in the list. So far I have no idea. But she was very dedicated and she used to work so hard. And I was lucky to have worked as interns in Children's Orthopedic Hospital. And after that, Mrs. Kellogg was the first foreign physiotherapist she was appointed at Children's Orthopedic Hospital. And after that, physiotherapy came into existence in India.
So that means it started at Children's Orthopedic Hospital there. And did you get to meet the philanthropist? Did you get to meet the philanthropist?
Yeah, Mrs. Ismail, when
at
she
Children's
used to...
Orthopedic Hospital?
Yeah, when Mrs. Ismail used to come for some meetings at the hospital, I just used to meet. Sometimes she used to come and take the round. So I have met her at that time. And I have very high respect for her.
Ma'am, you are one of the senior therapists in our field, but then still you continue to be active in our field. So tell us something, how your journey started.
Well, I can say my journey or my life as a physiotherapist started from JJ Hospital. And I was the first qualified physiotherapist to be appointed in government hospital. And at that time, my pay was rupees 200 per month. And that also for 2 years probation period.
Ma'am, that is 2 years probation was also, I mean, it's a bit too much in those times. It's still there now also.
Now I have no idea, it's still there. I think it must be there in government hospitals still.
Yes, it is there. And one thing very important for our youngsters to know, you started with a pay of 200 and what we are getting today. And I think I remember when in 1999, when I was working in Mumbai, I started with 3,000. So after 40 years, it came to some level and now it is increasing. It's very important to know that.
Yeah. See, when I joined JJ Hospital, at that time, there were only 2 blind masseurs and they were treating only polio patients, giving them massage and little bit exercises, and 6-7 patients were coming per day. So I thought, I can't sit like this looking at these polio patients. So I said, I will have to push myself. And what I did, I went to the orthopedic outdoor. And when I saw the patient of osteoarthritis knee joint, I told that orthopedic surgeon, I can treat this arthritis patient. Please refer on the case paper for physiotherapy. He referred it. I took the patient with me so that he won't run away from me. And, and then I insisted him that he should come very regularly for the treatment, and I assured him that you will be benefited by this treatment. And after about 8-10 sittings, he had about 50% relief. I took that patient back to the same doctor and told him, see how much physiotherapy is benefited. After that, I told him we can treat shoulder, knee, elbow, heel pain, all sorts of pain cases. And gradually, the patient's load increased in my department.
Were you able to convince the patient?
Yeah, I had to, because he was not knowing what. If I say exercise, he would run away. I said, तुमको सेक देगा, उससे फायदा होगा. So he was convinced then. And at that time, I was in a, yeah.
So now you improved, the department became big once you started getting referrals and all. So
right.
How did you do that?
See, when new building came up, I was given a whole ground floor, one wing. And from one room, I was given about 8 rooms. And I had designed that whole department. At that time, as I told you, there were many polio patients. So we had a Hubbard tank where patients can do exercise in water. And the tiles of that room was checked tiles so that patient will not sleep. Then electrotherapy room had a wooden flooring. Even gymnasium had a wooden flooring. So I had designed each and every small points. Not only that, also a small indoor swimming pool was also there, fixed up 2 geysers also there, so that patients don't get cold water things over there. And ultimately, the patients mainly this was for paraplegics and stroke patients. And a special Hoyer was kept so that with that, they could be taken down with the help of the pulley and stretcher.
It's very surprising you tried to make a hoist in those times. Now we have this hydrotherapy, so-called aquatic therapy, and we are getting imported hoist, I mean, to get the patients down the pool now.
Correct. Right.
Ma'am, then you told about referrals. Were all the doctors sending you patients, or you had to go and tell them? How did it work?
See, just give you one example. There was a case of Bell's palsy, and in JJ hospital, the system was like that: the patient goes to the clerk to take out the case paper, and the clerk will ask them क्या होता है, and that patient says आँख बंद नहीं होता है. So he was referred to ophthalmic department. There he was treated for few days. As he was not improving and he was diabetic, so he was referred to general medicine OPD. There they treated his diabetes. Still he was not improving. Then one of the consultant came and he says, oh, this looks like Bell's palsy. So let's refer him to neurology department. Then he was referred to neurology department. After that, I got the reference from neurology department. So by that time, it was more than 3 weeks. So after that, I went to ophthalmic, general medicine OPD, and told them, okay, please send such cases in second day only if there are no other complications.
So the patient had to go through a big cycle of all the different doctors and finally came back to you.
Yeah. And at that
this
time,
was in JG. Then how did you move forward, ma'am?
See, at that time, my department was under orthopedic surgeon. and he was very strict. He wouldn't allow us to do any other activities. He will come at about 12:20 and say why there is not a single patient and all. But then one day Dean came for the round and he was limping. So I told him, sir, you have knee pain? He said, yes. I said, come right now. I'll give you the treatment. I gave him treatment and then he started coming daily. So I became little friendly with him. And one fine day I told him, sir, we are treating neurology case, general surgery cases and other cases also, even skin department. We used to get paraplegic with bed sores and all. So why you should work only under orthopedic? So he was in good mood. He said, oh, is that so? He immediately sent the letter, okay, from today onwards, physiotherapy department will be directly under the dean. And that was my achievement. I was so happy after that. Yeah.
So that means you did advocacy, because we have to know that unless we go and prove ourselves, we are not going to get
Right.
everything easily. So you had to get the trust and the confidence of the doctors, you have to prove yourself. So you went that extra mile to do those things, which is very
Right.
important for us to know.
Yes, because I know
Ma'am,
if
then
you
what
want
happened
to,
in HN Hospital? You were there for some time.
yeah. See, main thing in HN hospital, I started a pain clinic. How I started, see, I had presented a paper in International Pain Conference in Washington and in New York. At that time, I visited few hospitals where they were running pain clinic. And first time I saw what is pain clinic. And I liked the idea. It was multidisciplinary approach. And I thought something like it we must do in India also. At that time, there was already International Pain Association's India branch was there. So I approached those things. And then at that time, even throughout the world, if you see, pain is dominated by anesthetists all over the world. Actually, pain is our domain. And we should take over. And today I would tell the young physios, you should push yourself and start pain clinics in your hospitals or departments. You can be the coordinator and start multidisciplinary.
So when you went to these conferences, you got back something and you had a vision to start that in India.
That's
so
right.
then you worked towards it, and that's how you set it up.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know in how many places in India in the pain clinic physios are actively involved. I don't think so.
There are few clinics, they pain clinic, but either it is only for cancer pain or anything like that. But not many multidisciplinary clinics are there.
Ma'am, what do you think about integrated medical practice? It was there that time also. Now also it's there. What is your view about it?
See, at that time, awareness was to be created because especially amongst general physicians, family physicians, they were hardly knowing what is physiotherapy. So I started giving them talks whenever they had a clinical meetings. I used to present a case to them in the seminar or in the clinical meetings, and gradually I started giving talks in seminar conferences. Even in rheumatology conference, I presented a paper. But main thing was needed was public awareness. I mean, medical awareness amongst medical fraternity.
So you made yourself a point to be in all those forums and make a point. That's
Right.
That's how I think they started believing in you, and then they sent all the patients to you. You have done a lot of public awareness programs at different forums. So just talk about that.
See, also as public, I mean, as medical awareness was needed, public awareness was more needed. So when I was in JJ Hospital, one of the journalists from Free Press newspaper came to take my interview. And at that time, uh, I think probably first time, uh, this article on physiotherapy was published, and the title was given is Putting Them Back on Their Feet. Like that, I started giving talks to TV and radio also, social organizations and different places. Also, what I started, another thing was a physiotherapy camps. At that time, I got a very good boost from our Lions clubs. So what we used to do as an added attraction, give them lumbo LS belt, then knee caps, cervical collar, free of charge. So they were very happy to attend physiotherapy camp. So I must have done more than 45 camps in Gujarat and Maharashtra.
And I think you also tried doing one documentary also for physiotherapy and physiotherapy. Was it done?
Yeah, I think long ago during one of the international physiotherapy day, I met one of the minister with one of my patient and told him, okay, sir, this is a new thing and we should do a documentary for the general public awareness. He liked the idea and he gave a letter to the film division. And I remember Professor Sahani also helped me in this documentary film. And we made a documentary film. At that time, it was shown in all 17 Indian languages in the theaters.
This must be in 1960s or something, no, ma'am?
Yeah, that's right.
1960s.
That's right. Right.
Ma'am, and you have done a lot of work with differently abled persons. So what inspired you to do a lot of work for them?
Okay, this reminds me of one of my patient. I was going to their house for the visit, and in their house, one about 16, 17 years old, differently disabled girl was there. But whenever she used to get her menses, she used to become very irritable, aggressive. And I was standing there. She just went and pulled her mother's hair from one side. And mother started crying at that time and then she showed me all my left side hair has gone, and she had such a strong grip. She could pull it actually, and the hair will come in her head. Since that day, I decided it's something we should do for such children. And through our Lions Club, we have done many projects for the handicapped people. And my new project, latest project, I would say, is coming up with the genetic lab. Our Lions Club, with the help of the international, has donated the 3 machines costing about 45 lakhs of rupees. And the main idea of this lab is early detection and prevention of disability due to genetic disorders.
So this is it's in Wadia Hospital, Mumbai. This lab is going to come up there.
It is at it's at Wadia Children's Hospital, Corel. Yes.
So maybe after this COVID situation, probably things will.
Machines have already arrived. We were just waiting for the inauguration.
That's nice, ma'am. Ma'am, in your professional life, you have come across many situations. Can you remember any one challenging moment which you thought, like, how I'm going to do? Will I be able to do? You know, that type of moment which came in your life.
Yeah. You know, I had escorted 3 paraplegics to Stoke Mandeville game in UK way back in 1974. And it was really challenging for me. 3 paraplegics in wheelchair with catheter. Of course, a helper was there, one orthopedic surgeon was there, but and that was my first international trip. So I was really worried, anxious, and I thought how I will be able to do this. But somehow I could manage it. And it was really a sight to see the paraplegics doing all the different games, even doing a wheelchair dance. That was worth seeing it over there.
So you achieved it.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, what's to learn from you is that we need to take risk in life if you have to achieve something, and nobody is going to give you everything, and you have to push for certain things in life. And I think that's how you achieved positions and where you are today. And anything in your anything you feel in your life which you feel as a regret, or you thought you couldn't do it, or you could have done it better, or something like that?
Yeah, sometimes I feel we should push forward. Still, in bigger cities, there is not much of problem. But if you go to villages, still there is physiotherapy. People are not aware about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes even if you tell them to do exercise, they don't believe in it. So we have to create awareness. We have to make them do it. And so many, physiotherapy is a vast subject. So many new things can be done for these people. Industrial physiotherapy and, like pain clinics. So many new things we can do it in our field. But for that, one should go push forward and take the advantage whenever you get opportunities. Yeah.
Yes. Ma'am, going aside from physiotherapy profession, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your pastime?
See, I like reading, but my pastime is playing computer games.
You still play? You still play
I
them?
still play. And it's my relaxation. When I am tired or anything, if I play 2-3 games, I feel much relaxed after that.
So then that is a routine for you every day to play for some time?
Yeah. Very Even
nice.
Sometimes before sleep, I play 2-3 games and then sleep.
Because it keeps your brain going, right? Active, actually, when you're playing.
Correct.
Ma'am, what is your message to all the young physiotherapists who are around? What do you want to tell them?
Well, I would tell them, if you want to have a golden pen, you should be dedicated in your profession. Our physiotherapy is a noble profession, and you should give back something to the society. Help the needy ones. You can do so many social work, so many things, put them back on their feet. And for that, I would say one thing more, okay, don't be after money. If your work is good, money will come to you. And I would end with my favorite slogan, hands to serve and hearts to love.
That's very nice, ma'am. Ma'am, so thank you so much, ma'am. We are honored that you gave your precious time for participating in the SIP platform, in the SIP chat, and sharing your thoughts and ideas. I feel honored to have been known you since so many years, and given the scope of your contribution to this profession. You have been a very sweet person. That's what is known by my colleagues and other professionals who have known you since many years. And you are an inspiration to a large number of senior as well as young therapists. Yeah, this is actually one of the, in 1964 when ma'am had written, the article came in the newspaper. So this was the article from those times. So that's exactly how the physiotherapy department look like, and all the patients have been going to be put back into action, stretching, and all those things happening over there. So ma'am, you are an inspiration to a large number of physiotherapists, both seniors as well as young therapists. May you continue to inspire us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Veena. Thank you so much. Thank you.